What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Understable Podcast. We are on episode number 51. I am Brandon /0 / whatever you want to call me, and my co-host over here, other side of the screen.
I am Mark, and you can find me in all sorts of places.
Yes, we can. We will go over those in one moment. Today, we're going to be talking about early season impressions. We've had a few events. I think we got about 4 or 5 events to kind of just, brush over and then kind of talk about some player performances, things of that nature, things that have impressed us, things that shock us, things of that nature. But first, Mark, where can people find the Understable Podcast and where can people find you?
Well, first off, you can find me on Instagram at mark.boonstra. You can find me on Facebook, also mark.boonstra. Or Mark Boonstra, I mean. And you can find me on YouTube at Mark Boonstra _disc golf.
Perfect. So, I updated the graphics. So for you YouTube watchers, that is up there. You can find me on Instagram.com/Brandon L. Schmucker, I believe is what it is. I should probably just change it to 0BLS anyway. YouTube.com/@0_BLS. That is a Pokemon based channel. If you want to watch competitive Pokemon or you like Pokemon battles and you want to see in-depth advanced strategies, head on over there, subscribe. Mark.
Sir.
Where are we starting this? Or should we do like a little should we do some updates as far as what's been going on in our personal lives? You got any big updates in your life?
Well, before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to Catalyst Disc Golf again for sponsoring me this season. I did get an update from her. She's not taking any custom orders on minis this year, but she will be making minis at some point.
Okay.
So check out her Facebook page. If you see something you like, hit her up, pick it up. Mention the Understable Podcast. Who knows? Maybe you get some kind of discount. I haven't talked about that yet, but maybe we can work something out.
Yep. And then,
go ahead.
In the same vein, I want to thank Disc Baron for having me on for a 3rd year of sponsorship. Hopefully we can continue to have that relationship going strong. If you guys want a discount on your order at discbaron.com, use the code 71353 at checkout. You can also use that code in person. We go there and say, hey, I know Brandon Schmucker, he's a somewhat above average disc golfer, mostly average, but a little bit more. And I would love to get that discount, and then they'll give it to you.
He just goes to leagues and shoots 1,000 rated rounds. That's all. Yeah,
just once in a blue moon, do something like that. But yeah. So, Mark, how are things going with you before we start talking about some disc golf? You got anything fun to share with us before we dive into the nitty gritty?
Anything fun? Not really. Life's been pretty boring. It's just been kind of work and sleep and standard routine. I played ball golf last week for the first time in 6 months.
How'd it go?
Terrible.
Absolutely
terrible. But hey, you know what? I had fun.
Yes.
I hit some good shots, hit some bad shots, hit terrible score, but the point was I was out having fun. That was the big part.
Did you play 9 or 18?
Played 18. It's the only way to go.
Oh boy. I've never played 18 before. You know that?
Really?
Because I'm so bad that it takes me so long to finish 9 holes.
Hey, the way I see it, the more strokes, the more bang you get for your buck. I mean,
I bet I could get better at golf. I bet I could be not. I don't even want to say decent, but I bet I could. I bet I could get to a point where 18 doesn't seem like a big task for me. I honestly think I could, but I don't have the money or the time.
Oh, it's so expensive, dude. It's so expensive.
I went golfing with my buddy one time for his bachelor party, okay? And we were all at my house. Everyone was congregating at my house. We met at my house and we are going to leave from there to the golf course. And they're all like, okay, blah, blah, blah. They're kind of waiting on me at this point because I was playing host. I was like, okay, well, let me go get my stuff. and then we'll go. And I brought out my clubs. And keep in mind, a lot of these clubs, my grandfather, bless his soul, rest in peace to my grandfather, he picked out, like, he would go to, like, pawn shops or, like, antiques or whatever, and he would find clubs, and he would make sets on the cheap. And he gave me a set. So I roll up with my clubs, and they're pretty old. Like, I know they're old. But I did not realize the gap between how new their clubs were and how old mine were, because I walked out with my bag. And I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. All chipper and ready to go. And they started laughing, dude. And when my buddy was getting married, he was like, those clubs belong in a museum. And that was like the second to last time I ever played golf. I was so disheartened and so hurt that I didn't golf again. And that was it. The next time I played, I shot a 72 on 9 holes. And that was it. That's the last time I golfed. Those are my last 2 golfing experiences.
That's not good. I shot a 115 and 18, so I mean,
this is still way better than what I did.
That's terrible.
I know. I've told people, I'm like, I've shot a 72 before, and they're like, whoa, you're a scratch golfer? And I was like, no, man, it was 9 holes.
Anyway, this is a disc golf podcast, not to be confused with the ball golf podcast. Right. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I went out and played. It was a good time. But other than that, it's just been hosting league again and, hanging out with you, talking disc golf.
Where's that league at? Give us time, place, entry fee. What? How can people get out and play this league? Give us the details.
All right. So my league is at Twin Creek Disc Golf Course in Germantown, Ohio. Friday nights. It's singles. I call it the G-Town Throwdown. Great time. Dayton Disc Golf members coming out. It's $9. If you're not a member, it's $10. I'm doing something new this year with a Super Ace Fund. That's an optional $5 for that. One-time buying until it's hit. Once it's hit, it resets, and we go from there.
Cool.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm thinking about adding one more thing to the league on our optional thing for $3 because there are 6 holes that overlap between the 2 different courses. And I was thinking about doing a mixed mayhem or mixed madness, and the best overall score on those 6 holes takes home some cash.
Okay. That sounds kind of fun.
But I haven't committed to that yet, so that's on hold for now.
Okay, so sounds like the worst part about playing in this league is that you have to be in or travel to Ohio to play. Sorry, viewers and listeners. But
well, most of our listeners are in Ohio anyway, so
I know, but I can't help myself. I have all my Michigan stuff behind me.
Go blue.
Go blue. Go blue. Anyway, anything else? That's all the fun, cool stuff you've been up to?
That's about it. I mean, everything else is personal life, and I'll spare our listeners that. So
okay, all right, fair enough. Are you ready to dive in then?
What about you? What have you been up to?
Well, I had something. Well, yeah, I went to Virginia Beach for spring break. That was fun. But that is like a whole story in and of itself that I'll save for another day. The most interesting thing that's happened to me and my family lately is my wife was jumping on the trampoline with my children, teaching my 6-year-old how to do jumping jacks. And she had her knee popped twice. I wasn't outside. I did not know this was happening. Her knee popped twice. She fell, obviously, and then she told, my 6-year-old, she's like, go get your dad. He comes in, he's like, hey, mom needs you. And I go out there and she's holding her knee. So that was on Monday. We're recording right now on a Friday. So yeah, we were at the hospital till past 1 in the morning because this happened at like just before 8 o'clock. We left for the hospital at 8:30. We still don't know exactly what happened. She either has a torn tendon, probably a torn meniscus. We don't know the severity of
Ouch.
it. Yeah, she's Italian and beautiful and stubborn, so she keeps trying to walk on it. And
Oh boy.
she was carrying her breakfast one day and tried to walk on it, and it buckled under the weight, and she threw her cereal all over the place.
Oh no. Oh boy.
So yeah, we still have some more questions. It's been busy. I'm not used to being the guy who's I'm picking up more slack than usual, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But
right.
yeah, I got to settle into that. It's been tough. But
For sure.
yeah, that's the most interesting thing happening in my life right now.
Fun.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So let's get into some disc golf, hey?
Let's do it.
All right. So if you guys have followed the season so far, we are currently six events into the season.
Mhm.
And it's interesting that we've had 3 different MPO winners. We'll get into this in a moment. And we've had 5 different FPO winners
Mhm.
with 1 repeat. And as you guys can probably all guess, Kristen Tatar is the only repeat winner.
Wow. I am
Shocking,
surprised.
huh?
I am so surprised.
Yeah. Oh, I'll keep that to myself. I had a comment, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay, fair enough.
We've had 3 different winners this year for MPO, and this is a shocker. Anthony Barella has won 3 of those events of the first 5.
Yeah, honestly, it legitimately is a shocker. I think last year we saw him getting better, right? Like I feel like the story of his career so far has been a lot of like close wins, just falling short, last second place, third place, or just kind of like not being seen. Honestly, like I feel like we haven't seen AB win a whole lot. And now this year,
I don't think he's won up until this year. I think it was his first win.
I think so too. You might be right. And this is his first year on Discraft, right?
No, he's been on Discraft for a few years.
Oh, who am I thinking of? Someone else.
I don't know.
But yeah, he is. Something happened. Something clicked in his game right now, and he's killing it. He's he's legitimately killing it.
Yeah, he joined an elite series or an elite group of Paul Macbeth, Ricky Wysocki, and there's a few other names in there to win the first or 3 of the first 5 tournaments for a season.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sign. I could probably tell you how those seasons ended up with those guys.
Yeah, for sure. So, it's been a very interesting first six events, and repeat winners and MPO, 1 repeat in FPO, which again, not surprised. Kristen Tatar's out there doing Kristen things.
Yep.
For all you doubters that didn't think she could come back and do the same thing this year she did last year, myself included, she's proving she's here to stay.
Yeah, and I think she's been doing a little bit of this on an injury too. I think, what was it, Texas State's? I think she was hurt. She still got second place, or no, like 4th place. No, still got second.
I don't know. She's
still got second. Yeah, she's still putting in work, and she's not even 100% healthy.
Right. Yeah, Kristen's just something else. She's a whole different caliber of player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd be willing to bet she'd finish top 15, top 20 MPO every week.
Guaranteed. Do you think she'll break 1,000 rated this year?
She should with the next ratings update.
Yeah, she's 998 right now.
If she keeps it up, yeah, she should break it next one because she shot multiple 1,000 rated rounds this year, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking. Let's do a little bit of, let's look. So Waco, she had 2 rounds at exactly or over 1,000, and then 2 at 999 or 998. And now moving on to the Open at Austin, 10:05, 969, then 10:37.
Yeah, but that 10:37 will cancel that 960 all day.
Yeah.
So you average those out, that's gonna be 1,000 rated right there.
United States women's disc golf, she averaged under 1,000.
Okay.
Texas State's. Hold on, we only got two more. Texas State's 964, 1027, 1008. So probably just under again. And then looking at Jonesboro, she shot 1044, crazy, 1009 and 994, so over 1,000. I think she's kind of finding her stride of the year right now. I think it's early season. She's back in the United States, and there's been some health concerns. I think now she's finding her groove, and I think it's just going to continue. I think we're back to our regularly scheduled Kristen at this point.
But if I'm not mistaken, I think she plays next weekend, and then I believe she's back to Estonia for a month.
I think so.
Wait, did I just tip you off for fantasy?
Yeah,
Oops.
well, I haven't forgot to change my lineup once this year, buddy, and look how it's turning out.
Yeah, I think we all agree we're playing for second place at this point.
We'll see. I'm not going to keep my foot off the gas. I'm going to keep going. So for those of you who don't know, we have a fantasy disc golf league. And we play, you have to play one of each. You have to play at least one MPO and at least one FPO, right?
Yes. Well, the only requirement is one FPO on a card of 4.
Yes. We start 4 players.
Yes.
Most lineups is 3 MPO and then 1 FPO. Most weeks. Sometimes some of us will change some things up. I am winning. I'm in first place.
By a decent amount.
Yeah. By at least, I think 70. I think I'm in the lead by 70. And we're scoring by basically a birdie is a point. And then there's like some placement.
Birdies are 1 point, eagles are 3, aces are 5, wins are 8, second place is 5, and third place is 3. There's more points.
4 through 10 is 1 extra point.
1 point, and then 11 through 20 MPO only is half a point.
Yeah.
So hey, you want to increase your lead?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll go on the record and make a bargain with you. I will trade you Anthony Barella for the one and only Kristen Tatar.
Absolutely not, dude.
Oh, come on.
Absolutely not. She's the reason I won the first year we did this. So I'm holding on to her.
You got Scott, man. You got Owen, though, man. She's killing it, too.
I know. It's nice to have options.
It is nice to have options.
So I have Owen. And don't ask me how I did this. There's 6 guys in this league. And they let me get away with this. I got Kristen, I got Owen, I got Sarah Hokum, and then I got Gannon, Dickerson, Maddie O, Emerson Keith, and one other guy. I don't remember who my other MPO is.
I don't remember, but yeah, your team is stacked. You're like the Kevin of last year. You're stacked.
And the funny thing is, last year, I kept forgetting. So last year was different, okay? You had to set your lineup before every tournament. You had to set, because we would clear out the lineups at the end of an event. And it took me 2 weeks to forget to set my lineup, and I dropped a big fat goose egg. We even made up a new rule that's like, hey, if you forget to do it once,
yeah, we gave you a mulligan.
We'll give you a mulligan. And then I did it again like 2 weeks later, and then it was already over.
You know what happened when you didn't have Kristen, so you forgot. That's what it was.
I didn't care. Yeah, I just didn't care as much. Then this
year,
I
had Kristen.
This year, ironically, we are letting benches like ride out like fantasy football, where if you don't change it, you just start them. And I haven't forgot to change my lineup once. And I don't understand why my brain operates this way. There's literally like almost no penalty to not change my lineup. And as soon as an event's over, I'm like, well, what are we doing next week? What are we doing in 2? I had my lineup set, like, we had an event that was 2 weeks later. I set my lineup the next day. I was like, I know this event's not. I know this event is not for 2 weeks, but I'm locked in, baby. I'm getting this dub.
I'm having an issue with trying to decide if I want to start Isaac or Vino or Presnell, man. I mean, we can get into it a little later, but Isaac's not performing this year. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and Vinyl seems like really hit and miss too, but he has a lot of upside. He has so much upside.
He does.
He's very talented.
Potential right now.
Yeah, he's very talented.
Let's get into some of these events.
Yes.
I'll do a quick recap on it, and you give me some info.
Okay.
We'll start with the Open at Austin.
Okay.
shocking winner, Nicholas Antela. I mean, where did this guy come from? He had something happen and it just clicked.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting MPO final. I watched the final of that tournament. I was pulling for Klein to win, actually, because Grand Rapids boy, like you gotta root for the home team.
Yep.
But Nicholas had the advantage. He was the lead card, and Klein was chase card. And it came down to hole 18. I mean, it had to be, I think, the birdie. And they showed Kyle a hole 12, I think it was, in the dark. I mean, it was dark.
Yeah, it was.
He's out there practice putting, getting warmed up for the playoff. And Nicholas won it on 18. So he's also the first Finnish player to win a Elite Series event.
Which is very surprising. Isn't he the best Finnish player?
Yeah, I believe so. Who else is Finnish on tour? I think Henna Blomroos is Finnish. Yeah.
Dude, Nicholas is 1042 rated.
It's like he's up and comer. I mean,
yeah, he's actually crazy. He's crazy high up there.
Yeah,
man, it's like I blink and everybody's ratings are just through the roof, man.
For sure.
Calvin's 1051. My God. Okay, sorry. Anyway.
Yeah. The FPO winner was Miss Owen Scoggins.
Oh, yes.
And in case you guys didn't catch the scores of that, this is the biggest FPO win of the season so far, an 11-stroke difference. Owen Scoggins by 11 strokes. And what's crazy about that is she's not a distance thrower. She plays clean. She plays very, I want to say conservative, but conservative.
Yeah.
She doesn't get into trouble. She gets birdies, but she doesn't get bogeys.
I think in FPO, you can play a more traditional style of golf. You don't have to run every single death putt you run across. In MPO, you have to, especially now. I mean, I feel like in MPO, there's always been a conversation of like being like managing the situation and, going for things and not going for things. In MPO right now, it feels like you're all in all the time. 50-foot putt with water 5 feet behind it, you are absolutely going for that putt.
Well, and that plays into the average wins. The average wins by this year. I mean, FPO average win has been 6.5 strokes difference.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
FPO, I mean, that's boring golf.
Yeah,
it's just because you get one clear leader and they stick with it for almost the whole tournament.
Yep.
The average win in the MPO division this year for all 6 events, 1 stroke difference. Talk about nail biters every single event.
Yeah, we've been treated to some nice finishes, man.
Fortunately, I get to watch them all because I still have DGN, and I'll get you the login so you can watch it too if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else happened at Open? I mean, first time winner, crazy finish.
I do want to point out. I want to point out a guy who he's got a couple wins. We talked about him, but he's lurking every single event from any card, and that's Gannon Buhr.
For sure, Gannon is always in the mix. But we both said at the beginning of the year that we thought he was going under for this year.
We did
compared to last year.
So far, he's proving us wrong, but
yeah, it's still early.
It is still early, but yeah, he's playing well. He's playing well. He's always there. He's always at least lurking.
He's consistent. He's always in the mix.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got.
US
Women's.
So we got Missy Gannon taking this one down. Is this her? This is her first title, isn't it?
This is her first major, I believe.
Well deserved.
Not just taking it down in style. And big money Missy style, winning by 5 strokes. So
against Evelina, who I feel like we've been waiting for a breakthrough for her.
She's gonna have a breakout very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah,
she's right on the verge of it. I mean, she blew out at Chess. She won that in dominant fashion. So
She's 975 rated, man. She's
Yeah,
way up. She's way up there too.
for sure.
Man, everybody's so good these days. I want to be good.
Keep shooting 1,000 rated.
All right, I'll try. But yeah, congrats to her. Big first major win. Like what a major to win for your first major.
Yeah, indeed. So let me ask you your thoughts on that. What do you think about having the U.S. Women's Championship so early in the season?
I don't like it. I don't think, based on the limited like opinions that I feel like I've taken in from FPO players, it definitely feels a little too soon. Like a lot of these, this is what, the 4th event of the year for these ladies. So
yeah,
you're not even in mid-season form. We're not seeing these ladies at their very best for the women's championship, for one of the biggest titles in disc golf, to not even have them in like mid-season form. I don't like this decision. It's not. I just don't think we're getting like the best of the best. Not that Missy wouldn't have won in mid-season anyway, but like maybe the scores would have been a little tighter. Maybe, you know what I mean? I don't think we're.
Or maybe she doesn't win at all. Maybe Kristen knocks it down, or maybe another, maybe someone like Kat Mertz wins it.
Exactly.
I mean, I agree with you. I just don't think it was good timing on it.
And not that they played bad. I just don't think we're getting them at their best. I bet I guarantee everyone who played it, I bet even Missy would tell you that wasn't my best disc golf. I bet every single woman who participated in this would say, nah, that was not my best golf. And
most likely I would agree.
And I think in the middle of the season, I think they might say that yes, everyone's always striving to be better. That's just a given with professionals, but yeah, I don't like this. I would love to see them move that back towards the end of the year. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I think maybe they could like throw pink or something earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Maybe put U.S. Women's the same weekend as U.S. DGC.
Yeah.
That way you're having the whole event at one time. It would make things tricky for fantasy, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, or just have it the week before or the week after.
I do like them having their own event.
Yes, me too.
And it was convenient because it was in Austin, Texas, I believe, or just outside of Austin, so they didn't have to go very far. I remember Kat Mertz was talking after one of her rounds that she would play her tournament round for the Open and then go over and play a practice round for USWDGC.
Mm-hmm.
So you're putting a lot of stuff on these ladies within a matter of a week and a half.
Yeah.
So I just think it could be at a better time of the year than what it was this year.
Same. Yeah, that's how I feel about that.
All right, moving on. Texas States.
All right, Texas.
This was
States.
probably the best FPO MPO combo all year so far.
Mm-hmm.
AB wins it by guess what? One stroke.
And
Anakin Steen or Sten wins it by 2 strokes. Like, who is this and where did she come from? I mean, I've seen her on coverage. Like, I've seen her in the field, but she played incredibly smart golf and she won.
She beat Kristen Tatar. She's got a 6-digit PDGA number, and she's 942 rated. And she took down.
And she took down the number 1 FPO player in the world.
Mm-hmm. She took down the world champ.
Like threatening overtime.
Yeah.
Like they were almost pushing the playoff, and somehow I forget what all happened, but she played a clean hole, and I think Kristen messed up.
Yep. I think we've seen that a lot from Kristen. I think we've seen a lot more bogeys from Kristen.
We have.
I noticed that with her a lot. We're seeing she's getting her birdies. She's also getting her bogeys.
Is she playing more aggressive now, you think?
I think she's just a little bothered. I think she's got something going on. She doesn't need to be aggressive. Honestly,
well, didn't she have surgery off season?
I think she had. Yeah, she did. Yep, she did. And I think this was the event where she had kind of opened up about how she is hurting. Not to take away from Anakin's win, but I think this is where
no, not at all.
But this is where she kind of opened up and was just like, hey, played through a lot of pain to make this one happen.
Right. Yeah. And she's not making excuses by any means. It's just she's being
No.
very open about what she's going through. And that's one thing very respectable about Kristen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Texas. So Texas sweep is done.
Mhm.
We move to good old Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas.
Arkansas for Jonesboro.
Yes. Hey, shocking. Guess who wins MPO again? Oh, Anthony Barella.
Anthony Barella.
Hey, buddy, by one stroke.
By one stroke.
And that was a nail biter, man. That came down. Well, no, that wasn't a nail biter. He could have won by 2 if he had ran the putt, but I mean, you have a stroke to give, just lay up and tap in the par and win.
Yeah, you want to know the difference between first place and second place prize money?
What was it?
Almost $6,000.
Wow.
10,000 for first, 4,200 for second. That's crazy. Granted,
Yeah.
they did have to split. There was a 3-way tie for second. They had to split, but still, that's such a crazy difference.
They'll add up all 3 places and then they'll divide it evenly. So
yeah,
you're probably getting maybe not more money per, but you're getting more average, a regular win.
Yep,
or not win, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kristen took down FPO by 9 strokes.
Yep.
So once again, Kristen's doing Kristen things.
It's crazy that just after talking about how she was hurting, she puts a hurting on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
She had a crazy lead after round 1. Like it was already done after round 1.
Yeah, she won after round 1.
Yeah. It was literally like, that was it. I think maybe someone had got like 2 strokes on her after that, like from round 2 to 3. And that was it.
You know, I'm going to go back to something that we discussed with Stacy off camera.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You remember I asked her how Kristen was on the course.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered, somebody of that caliber, like, what is their mentality? What's their demeanor? How are they on the course? Are they not like cocky about things, but are they holding themselves, high and mighty? Stacy made it very clear that Kristen is so down to earth. She's so like rooting for her opponent. She's rooting for the rest of the card. She's very laid back and just kind of focused. And that to me is the mindset of a champion.
Yeah.
I mean, Kristen's not out there like showboating or acting like she's better than everybody else, because at any moment it could be gone.
Yeah.
She's very humble. She's very, like Stacey said, very down to earth. And the other ladies would throw a good shot. She'd be fist bumping them, telling them good shot, cheering them on. And that's kind of cool that you get to see that.
She's got that mentality that we all like wish we had, I feel like, but I feel like 95% of us are just head cases after we get a bogeys. Like,
of course,
but she's not. She's definitely not. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah. She's able to just like turn things off. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she does it better than MPO players. Like, I feel like she has an easier time turning off outside noise or pushing away those thoughts in her head than a lot of the men do. The men are under a lot of pressure, I feel like, because things can get so tight that, a bogey could, inopportune bogey could lose you a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like she just is that. I think is her biggest strength. Well, that and her putting. Let's be honest. But you're not a good putter with a bad mentality. You know what I mean? So
no, not at all. And I've been dealing with that so far this year. Just last year, I was hitting all kinds of putts. I was hitting circle twos. I was very consistent on the green. And this year, I feel like I just can't put it in the basket. Now, tonight was probably my best putting night I've had so far this year. Mm-hmm. Hitting putts from all over the circle, and even had a 100-foot throw in tonight for a birdie, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I've been so inconsistent because I'm not out playing regularly anymore.
Yeah.
I get out once a week or every 2 to 3 weeks if I'm not playing league. That's something that Kristen does. If she's not playing, she's still practicing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, to be fair, you bought a house last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought a house in November.
Yeah. Yeah, that
so a lot of my focus and time is going into that and kind of doing some projects around the house and Work's been pretty slow, so hours are slow. So I'm just trying to.
Well, as long as you're having fun when you play disc golf and you're talking about disc golf on your podcast,
Of course,
all is fine. All is good in the world. It doesn't matter.
it is. The world could be burning down around me. Sometimes it feels like it is, but hey, disc golf makes it better.
Yeah, if you guys want to go listen to better disc golfers on a podcast, you can go listen to Brody. Just kidding. Don't do that. Stay here.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Listen to the Understable podcast, please. Yeah, that's a brief overview of some of the events. Anything else we got before we
Sure.
sign off?
Let's talk about some rankings
Yes.
and something else that I have on my mind.
Okay.
So official power rankings now. According to Statmando, the official rankings go back over 24 months. This has Kristen Tatar number 1, Owen Scoggins 2, Missy Gannon number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Same way we left off last year.
Yep.
MPO has Gannon Burr, Calvin Heimberg, Anthony Barella, Richard Wysocki,
Mm-hmm.
and Grand Rapids boy Kyle Klein are your top 5.
Mm.
The power rankings, however, are over the last 15 weeks. This is where it gets interesting. Kristen Tatar is number 1, Owen Scoggins 2, Evelina Salinen's number 3.
That's cool.
Where did she come from? I mean, good on her.
Yeah, that's good.
Missy drops to 4, and Holland Hanley is 5th.
Okay, so you were right. You keep your eyes on Evelina.
Exactly. She's got her putt locked in, I think, and she's going to be a force this year.
Yeah, that's all. That's what it's always been. It's always been the putt. It's always been the putt for her.
Yes. The power rankings for MPO, we have, no surprise, Anthony Barella number 1, Gannon Burr number 2.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into more of that in just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by Gannon, you have Nicholas Antela, Kyle Klein, and Calvin Heimberg. So what a drop for Calvin from 2nd to 5th.
Yeah, we haven't seen. I mean, he's got some top finishes this year, but we still have not seen him really lock anything down.
Well, he's dealing with an injury also. He's not throwing any sidearms at all.
Oof, and that's tough. You got to do both.
You do.
On tour, you got to do both.
Yeah. For those that don't pay attention to social media as much, Eagle McMahon was supposed to be back this week.
Mm-hmm.
But during his press conference, he said that he tweaked his back, reaching for something in his core. So he ended up having to withdraw from this event, and he's supposed to be back next week.
That's brutal,
Bummer.
man. That's brutal.
Yeah, he said his shoulder's fine. His throwing arm is good. He's ready to go. Just he was reaching for something in the back of his car, and he tweaked his back somehow. So
he's playing
it safe and just not playing this weekend. So
hopefully for the next event.
Right. All right. Let's get into something interesting, like the rest of the show's been.
Okay.
Let's look at the 1-2 punch for the power rankings as well as the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings.
Okay.
Anthony Barella versus Gannon Burr. Undoubtedly the 1-2 punch right now.
Yes.
What I find kind of humorous in a sense, both of them have played 6 events. 6 events.
Mm.
AB he's only got 3 tour wins, but he won the Persimmon, I think it was the Persimmon Ranch or whatever that he won just recently, a non-tour event.
Yeah.
So AB has 4 wins, 2 losses. Gannon Burr has 2 wins, 4 losses.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complete flip-flop. I'm like, wait a minute, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Right here, tour events. Obviously, AB 3 wins, Gannon 2. Gannon has 1 second. Both of them are 100% top 10 finish.
That's pretty impressive.
Anthony Barella has 1 more stroke than Gannon Burr.
Really?
So talking about the season of ones.
Yep, the one stroke victories.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's who can save the most strokes.
Yep.
It's not about the hero shots. I should take my own advice.
Yes.
It's about playing clean. It's about hitting fairways and being smart on the course.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But are we seeing a turning of the tides with AB and Gannon. They're both young guns. I mean, Isaac's pretty young too, but Calvin's a little bit older. He's more seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
We've got two of the most consistent players right now in the 1-2 punch.
It's possible. It's very possible. This could be. Oh man, I feel like we've seen a few like changing of the guards. You know what I mean? Well, like, and then throw Kyle in there as well. You know what I mean? He could end up being this caliber of player too, and he's 19, 20 now. Yeah, can't even drink alcohol yet, but he's a United States champion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, all these young guys coming out, and I think we're gonna see the turning of the tides. I think Paul's gonna phase out. He's still gonna compete. He's still gonna play. He's still gonna be, top 20.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the era of Paul McBeth is done.
Yeah, I definitely
we've talked about this, off camera before.
Yeah.
Ricky. With Ricky, I mean, it's going to be similar in the near future. I mean, these young guys are coming out and they're just out throwing people. They're outperforming on the green. And no disrespect to any of the older guys, but are they going to be able to keep up over the next 5 years with these young guys?
That's a tough one too, because I thought Ricky was not like Ricky's playing bad. Ricky's not playing bad.
Not at all.
He's top 20, like you mentioned about Paul. He's like top 20 every single event. Like he's always out there. He's making the highlights, but like he's not cracking the top 5. I feel like at all this year. And I thought he was gonna like it's still early. It's still early, and he might sneak in some wins, but
it is.
Yeah, we're just not seeing the type of play that we're used to from Ricky. And I don't even think it's because he's playing bad. He's not playing bad. I think it's just
everybody else is playing better.
The top of the dog pile right now is just so, I feel like, so hard to reach. The pinnacle is just harder to hit than it's ever been, man. The everything seems so tight right now at the top of FPO.
Yeah. Now, do you think we're seeing a Cinderella story for AB? Struggled a little bit last year, played a little inconsistent, had European Open locked up, and then hole 16 happened and he lost it.
I do have concerns about this level of play for him not lasting all year. Just because we haven't seen that, we haven't been able to, and I could be wrong, but just based on the history, we haven't seen, a level of like winning consistency. We haven't seen AB like dominate really. You know what I mean? He's always been there.
Yeah.
We haven't seen until this year. We hadn't seen the signature wins really. We hadn't seen more than he's got some second place finishes. I just don't think we don't have that level of trust.
Right
with AB.
And again, it's early in the season. And
yes.
I would predict, I can't say predict because it's already happened. I believe he would have 4 tour wins right now had he not fallen apart in, what was it? One of the events he finished, he kind of melted down. He showed his not immaturity, but he shows that he folds under pressure at times. I forget what event it was.
And another thing with him is because his putt is so aggressive, he will blow by the basket. He'll blow by the basket on his putts. If he airballs a putt,
yeah,
he's probably going to 3-putt because he absolutely sends his putts. It's working for him right now.
But he's committed to it, though.
He is committed to it.
I mean, I haven't seen him miss a lot of putts and go too far.
Right, and that's the difference.
So that is the difference. He's hitting his putts.
Yeah, I mean, he's a better putter than me, so like, what do I know? But you know what I mean? It's just that has always been something that's plagued him, I think, is putting in big moments, especially keeping those putts, even the misses, keeping them close to the basket and not just being an air ball for another 35-footer.
Right.
Is a big difference maker for him right now.
And that was one of my biggest confidence boosts last year with my Circle 2s. I mean, I'd do a step putt, anything outside of like 35 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that, even if I miss that, my comeback is only 12, 15 footer. It's probably going in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the confidence goes up when you have that kind of a, I don't want to say ability, but when you know, even if you miss, it's going to be an easy comeback. I mean, it gives you more confidence to run.
Yeah.
He'll get there. I think we're just seeing AB starting to warm up, and that's it.
It's very possible. Like
I think he's got a successful career going ahead of him.
If he dominates this year, I also wouldn't be surprised by that. Like, let's just say that. I'm concerned that it won't last, but based on the way he's playing right now, if he just destroys everything all year, then I'll eat my words. That's fine.
Right. Last thing I have is another one-on-one matchup, the 1-2 punch for FPO. Kristen and Miss Owen Scoggins. Again, 4-2 versus 2-4.
Beautiful.
So yeah, Kristen's also won a non-tour event.
Yep.
Kristen 3 wins. Owen has 1 tour win. They both have 2 second place finishes, and ironically, when they finished second, the other person won.
Yeah,
it is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Both are 100% top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the kicker, and I know you can see the graphic, Brandon. Our listeners can't.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen is winning this stroke battle by 18 strokes.
Yeah,
that's a stroke a hole in a tournament.
Yeah, and that goes. That kind of goes to that. Like that alludes to what you were talking about earlier, where it's like FPO lately seems to have been decided after round 1 this year, and this is some evidence of that.
Yeah,
it's just one lady will just, for the most part, one lady will dominate round 1 and just kind of hold on to it. So, yeah, those are interesting facts, my good sir.
So, yeah, I think that's about it for our 25% season recap.
Early season impressions.
Yeah, early season impressions for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I'm staying optimistic that AB can keep this up for maybe not the whole year, but a majority of the year. And again, Kristen will just do Kristen things. There's no way around that. If she's out there, her mentality is I'm here to win, and that's it.
Yep.
So Kristen will continue to dominate until the younger Kristen comes and plays.
Yeah.
Because a few years ago it was Paige Pierce, then Kristen replaced Paige basically, and then. But my question is, how long can Kristen keep this up? I mean, she's mid-30s, I believe.
I think she's built to last longer than a lot of players.
She's very conditioned. She's very conditioned, and she takes her health very seriously. So,
I think her game is more solid and more well-rounded than any FPO player we've ever seen, ever in the history of the sport. I'm gonna go out there and say that.
Agreed.
So, you want a pro tip before we go?
We do. You got one?
I do have one. If you're over 30 years old, don't jump on the trampoline. Y'all have a good one.
There you go. Hey, so until next episode, guys, keep it in the fairway.